What product lasts for generations, is used by pros in the industry, and actually gets better with time? Cast iron cookware. Now, why am I talking about cast iron cookware on a channel that primarily features gear and apparel and stuff like that? Well, because it fits into those categories that I just mentioned, which really apply to most of the things that I talk about on this channel. So great leather, wool, stuff like that, it usually gets better with time. And the older pieces are more coveted than the newer pieces. Cast iron fits into that category. And especially when we're talking about buying less but buying better, cast iron is one of the best examples of that. When you break it down to cost per use, a brand new cast iron skillet or pan or any of those things, it probably costs you fractions of a penny by the time you end up passing it on to your kids or grandkids or somebody that you just want to have your stuff. So I wanted to take a look at cast iron in this video, and it was an excuse to make a delicious lunch, so it was a no-brainer. Now, before I continue, I want to thank new subscribers Domingo Camillo, Tommy Hargens, and Jeff Black. Your support means the world to me. Thank you. Cooking with cast iron goes far back in history, with the first examples appearing in China and in India, and then Europe, eventually the United States. Now, before the Industrial Revolution, things evolved really slowly, and for a long time, food was prepared over a wood fire. Some old homes here in New England still have a hearth with arms designed to swing cast iron pots over a fire. And in 1708, the Dutch oven was patented. Now, this was essentially a cast iron pot with legs. Cast iron cookware was cheap, lasted a long time, and it performed exceptionally well by its heat-holding capabilities. In fact, it was the cookware of choice up until the 1960s with the introduction of Teflon-coated aluminum pots and pans. The benefits of cast iron are numerous, and apart from their legendary durability, many chefs prefer its ability to hold heat better than steel or aluminum due to its density and its thickness. This means that a preheated cast iron vessel can cook very evenly and continue to hold heat even after the heat source has been removed. It's also commonly used to create a good sear on meat thanks to its ability to withstand high temperatures. This allows you to use cast iron both on the stovetop and in the oven, where components on aluminum cookware or steel cookware could potentially become damaged. Then there's the legendary seasoning capability, which occurs with time and use. Most cast iron comes to you sort of pre-seasoned, but a lot of people prefer to do their own. Essentially, seasoning, it creates a layer of fats and oils over time and use, which lend their unique flavors and also create a non-stick surface. And this is why many claim that cast iron actually gets better with time and use, and that food prepared with well-seasoned cast iron actually tastes better. Most cast iron can be broken down into two categories: bare and enamel coated, with each one having their own benefits. Bare cast iron is typically less expensive and it has the capability to be seasoned. However, it's also more difficult to clean and it's prone to rust if not properly maintained. Enamel coated cast iron comes in vibrant colors and is much easier to clean, but it's often several times more expensive, and the enamel, it can chip if you drop a pan. Now, the cast iron skillet that you see here is from the American brand Finex, and they took the old school formula but sort of modernized it. The hexagonal shape means that the lid can be offset to vent steam, or it can be closed up and used almost like a Dutch oven. The stainless steel spring handle creates a buffer between your hand and the heated cast iron, sort of similar to old wood stoves, and it's capped off by a beautiful polished brass cap. The press is also from Finex, and it can be used on your grill or preheated and used as I have here, or any number of other cooking applications. The cast iron lid has concentric rings to direct moisture back into the skillet, and the cooking surface is nicely ground compared to some of the less expensive brands that I've seen. And I've bought Finex products over time with the intention of one day passing down a full set to my children. Now, while there's a certain charm to the old school designs, I think Finex has taken it up several notches with a design that looks as good on display as it performs in use. Now, you don't have to spend hundreds on brands like Finex if you can't quite afford it. There are plenty of other brands out there who offer great bang for the buck products, like Lodge. You could get a great Lodge skillet for a very reasonable price, and it'll work wonderfully. So that's kind of the idea here, is just buying something that you can hold on to, take care of, and one day pass down. For me, I really like the idea of buying the best that I can afford, and I buy them little by little. You know, I'll buy one this year, maybe one another year, and since they're kind of cumulative in that way, I can pass down a set to my kids. That's at least what I hope to do. And speaking of products that only get better with time, check out my video on the Himmel Brothers jacket. Now, this is a jacket that's like a modern day heirloom. This is truly something that, you know, people who are snobs of the whole industry really respect. And one of these I think is gonna be worth maybe more in the future than it is right now. One of the best jackets I've ever tried. Go check out that video. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.